Good morning, I'm Christy. I'm one of the butchers belonging to the World Steak Challenge. I'm just here this morning with Richie just to go through a few bits in regards to the requirements of what we would like on primals coming towards this year in 2024.
Yeah, so as Christy says, this video is intended to be as informative as possible. We'd like to show you a couple of ways that we want to reduce waste, reduce the cost of delivery, but most importantly, give you the best chance of scoring high in this year's World Steak Challenge.
So number one, I suppose, is a lovely rib we have here, but we prefer, and I suppose all entries must be taken off the bone before they come to the butchery part.
So this one's out of the picture.
Next, we will do a demonstration on the fillet, the ribeye, and sirloin stroke strip loin.
Okay, so we're going to start off here with the strip loin or sirloin, depending on what you call it. Let us know what they need to do here.
Yeah, okay, Richie. So what we have here is a full strip loin. So what we want is a nice undercarriage cleaned. So basically remove all the intercontinental muscles and just give it a nice clean. So you can see there, we're looking at meat, we're not looking at fat or sinew. We also want then is the chain removed. So again, as we said before, we want to give your steak the best opportunity to be showcased. So if we remove that chain, we've no fat or grizzle going out onto the grill when we're cooking the steak. So
absolutely.
just to remove that.
Part of the steak, it will be judged.
Yeah, absolutely. And we don't want a judge to have that grizzle in his mouth. He's not going to judge the steak to perfection. Okay, so we've trimmed the undercarriage of the strip loin. We've removed the chain. So I suppose the premium piece of meat that we want now is the middle piece of the sirloin strip loin, Richie.
Yeah.
So what we're going to do is we're going to take away the diamond end because we have that sinew that runs through there. So that's, again, we don't want a judge to taste that. And then what we're going to do is come up to the rib end. And where the rib end kind of finishes at the strip loin, we're going to take away that also. So we're giving that nice centre cut piece of beef to the judges to taste out on the table. So Richie, with our strip loin trim now, diamond end removed, chain removed, rib end removed, this is the perfect entry piece of beef that we want the day of the competition.
Absolutely. There's plenty here to cut our 6 2-centimetre steaks from. But remember, as the producer, you're going to be scored on this fat trim. You've got to decide whether this is enough or not enough fat, and whether you want to trim tail end off or what way you want to present that steak. But remembering that you will be scored on it, on how it visually is presented to the judges, and then obviously later as it's scored for the flavour.
Okay, perfect.
So now, Christy, we're going to move on to the rib.
Yeah, so to be fair, Richie, this is a beautiful piece of ribeye, probably 2.5 kilos in weight. But as we can see, intercontinental muscles removed, the cap is removed from the rib. So this is perfect. There's nothing really more we can take off this. So entries at this level is perfection for us as butchers to cut on the day.
Absolutely, and I would have said that it's not far off perfection before it gets cut into our steaks. Maybe you want to take a little bit more fat trim off it, but after all, it is the ribeye. That's what's going to give the flavour. You as the producer have to decide that. So Christy, we're going to move on to the fillet. This is a full fillet, head and tail still on. There's a little bit of work to be done in this one. Explain what we'd like to see.
Yeah, and I suppose the last few years, Richie, my experience of this is we get some lovely trimmed fillets, but also then we get a full fillet in, and I suppose the chain is on. And for us as the butchering team, we're not allowed to trim the product.
Rules are straight through the middle.
Straight through. So we cut our steaks. So unfortunately, then we're going to have that bit of chain going out. Yeah. So there is a chance that a judge might taste that chain and that sinew, and he's not going to judge it to what it should.
And so, likewise with our silver skin here as well.
Exactly. So my recommendation would be to remove the chain off all fillets coming into us. So again, just handy enough, remove the chain. And then what we're going to do then is just on the undercarriage, again, just look for them heavy knots of fat. So that, again, there's always going to be them. Not a nice experience when you're eating a fillet and you get that piece of fat. And then we'll turn it over. And again, what we're looking for on the judge's side is a nice centre barrel.
Yes.
So what we're going to do is we're going to remove the head. Okay. We're going to remove, we say the tail to about here, Richie.
Yeah.
5 or 6 inches up. And then what we're going to do is just to remove the silver skin. So nice and easy. And there we have perfect entry of a fillet barrel for the fillet competition.
Yeah, so once again, we've got the centre fillet ready to be cut into our 6 2 centimeter thick steaks. And once again, up to the producer, just how much you want to trim this fillet up to. But as Christy says, just like this is perfect, ready to go. You decide as the producer how much you want to trim off. So this is exactly how we like to see the steaks arrive for judging. Perfectly vacuum packed, clearly labelled. Our centre cut primals ready for Christy and his team to take them into the kitchen and cut them into steaks.
Yep, if we can get all entries like that, that's going to save us a lot of time, but give your product the best entry level that it can be.
Absolutely. Let's have a look at that process.
Okay, so here's our strip loin, Richie. So what we're going to do is just going to take it out of the bag, and what I'll do is we'll just cut a couple of steaks and show how they're presented out to the judges outside.
So at this point, you're not going to do anything other than open the bag and cut our 2 centimeter cut steaks.
Yeah, exactly. That's our brief on the day. As the product comes in, we open, decant, and we cut, and we put on a plate, and that's the last we see of it, to be fair.
Okay, so cut those steaks first.
Okay, so as I said, here's our perfect piece of strip loin that we asked at the entry. So as Richie said, we're looking for 2 centimeter steaks. So we normally cut them out of the middle, to be fair. One. And 2.
So 2 beautiful steaks at this stage. The reason we ask for enough to do 6 steaks is it's possible that those steaks may have to be recooked or judged again, or they may go on to the next stage of judging on the next day to take it up another level. Christy's presented with 2 plates with matching numbers that were on your steak prior to this. Both raw steaks are put onto the first plate, and they'll go to the weighing station to be weighed before cooking and after cooking, and then once cooked goes onto a matching plate to be sent to the judges' table. 1 raw, 1 cooked.
Excellent. Okay, Richie, so that's it. The butchery work is done. We've cut our steaks, our fillet, our strip loin, and our ribeye. It's over to you guys now.
The hard bit, the most enjoyable bit. This is presented exactly as it would be on the day of judging. We really hope that this has been an informative video to help you get the best leg up that you can get for judging on the day. Looking forward to seeing everybody in Amsterdam this year. Good luck to everybody.
Yeah, cheers.